Welcome back everyone. We're going to be talking about iPadOS 14 and seeing some of the new features and all that good stuff. Now, what I'll tell you is iPadOS is far above and far superior in my opinion than iOS right now, but some things have actually gotten better with iOS that haven't necessarily got better with iPadOS. And I feel like when we already have things like picture-in-picture and split-screen multitasking and those type of things, it gets harder and harder for Apple to kind of, force us to update in a way. But even with iPadOS 14, there were some really cool improvements that I really do like. And honestly, if you're on iPadOS 13, eventually it will make sense to go and update to iPadOS 14. But here's the thing, and I'm going to stress this so hard in this video, very, very hard, okay? I would not recommend anybody on any device to update to iOS 14, iPadOS 14, watchOS 7. I would not recommend anybody to do any of those things. And the main reason being is because you can break your device and you're going to have an unstable device. Now, if you have a side device, if you have a phone that you're not using or an iPad that you're not using, like an iPad mini 4 or something like that, then by all means go for it. But to take your iPad Pro 4th generation and to go and install the beta on it, even a 3rd gen like mine, I just wouldn't recommend it. There's just too many bugs in the way and you're just probably going to be doing more damage than you're not. So I have tutorials on how to install this on my second channel. I'll probably post one on this main channel too, but at the end of it, like I stated, don't install it. It's just not worth it in my opinion. Now with that being said, let's talk about the best things about iPadOS 14. Now we're going to be getting this new widget layout, which is really cool. Now we have it already on iOS, iOS 14, and we kind of already had it with iPadOS before, with iPadOS 13, even iOS 13, but these widgets are a whole nother level. And on iOS, I don't get this. On iOS 14, we're actually able to go and drag these icons to different pages and bring them here and bring them there, and that's actually really cool. But with iPadOS 14, for some reason that specific feature is not enabled. So I can click on it, I can drag it, but I can't place it on the home screen, which is weird. I can't place it on any screen. So I don't know why Apple did that. It's kind of like such an unnecessary thing. But again, we'll find out later what, maybe it's just a bug. Maybe they'll go ahead and enable it later on. But it makes sense to me that Apple would temporarily disable it and then go and enable it later. So that's a really cool feature. Hopefully Apple does add the widget layout that we can add. But even then, you can still lock that widget panel on the home screen. So it's really not that bad, but still would have been cool if we had that capability. The next thing, as you guys already know, the next thing, which is actually really, really impressive, and it might seem a small thing now, but I think over time it'll definitely get better and better, is actually the sidebar. So what this is, if you go into, let's say, the Files app or whatever on your macOS machine, that, you click on it, you have, your things that you're looking at in the middle or the side, and then you have a little sidebar that shows you everything that you have. So like your documents, your downloaded folder, whatever. Well, that layout is now actually within iPadOS 14, but across the board. So, it's across like that in notes and photos and files. And I think this is a really cool layout because they're kind of streamlining all the layout of basically iPadOS and macOS. So even though it's still not quite as good as macOS, the layout is kind of similar, which is really cool. And that would actually make a lot of people, I think, more comfortable using an iPad as a dedicated computer in a way. So it might seem like a small thing now, like I stated, but I think it's a cool improvement. And I think if they kind of step this up in the right direction, they can actually probably make a lot of people still stick with their iPads rather than go and upgrade to a MacBook. But what Apple wants is for you to have a MacBook and an iPad. So they're never going to totally replace it. MacBooks are still superior in my opinion, but iPads are still really cool too. And that sidebar thing is really awesome. Now we have the new updated music app as well, which is really cool. Now I should have said this in iOS 14 video, but it still works, it's still great. I don't know that many people who use the music app on their iPads, but it's still really cool that it got an update, so there's that. Also, we now have small Siri in a way, so Siri is now in a corner. It's still not perfect though. You can't use your phone or iPad while you're still using Siri, but it's totally okay. I think it'll take less, it's okay. Basically, you enable it just by however you enable Siri on your iPad, and then it comes into a corner, which is awesome. So it doesn't take up the whole screen like I stated. If you can ask Siri anything and it'll get you the response back. Siri has gotten smarter with iOS 14 or iPadOS 14 as well, which is a huge highlight. Now, is it the best thing ever? No, I wish we could still use our tablet or iPhone or whatever while we enable Siri, but I think that's something that's going to take a little bit of time. And I feel like with the next couple betas, if Apple hopefully does change that up and enable us to do that, then I think it'll be coming sooner than later. I don't think they're going to wait till iPadOS 15 to fix that. So that's a really awesome one too, and one that a lot of people wanted for a long time. We also have a new universal search as well. So basically, if you swipe down from the top, before it would just get into spotlight search, it would take up the whole entire screen and everything. But now with this universal search, basically what happens, it's almost just like spotlight search or search on our macOS machines. So basically you swipe down from the panel, you get to type in whatever you want to, and it's just a small little box. It doesn't take up the whole entire display, and this kind of gives me a really good glimpse of what Apple could be doing for multitasking in the future. So this is just a small glimpse. I'm telling you guys, you see how this box is like right in the middle, whatever. So I feel like with the next version of updates, so with iPadOS 15, Apple's probably going to be bringing some crazy new multitasking to our iPad. So not split screen multitasking, but true multitasking like how we have on our Mac machines and our Windows machines and everything, with floating windows and everything. It might seem like a stretch, I know, but it could happen, who knows. But basically you can search for anything now and it brings up everything. I mean, you gotta search for anything anyway, but it's just a cool new layout, which I really do like. Now this next thing actually is very, very interesting. So with the Apple Pencil, it actually got an update for the iPad. So unfortunately I don't have an Apple Pencil anymore, but basically what you can do is you can write anywhere across the board. Any place that requires input in any way, you can actually write it out. So, you know, in the Notes app, wherever, if you're in Google and you want to search up something, instead of typing it out, you can actually write it out, which I think is interesting. But I don't know, I think typing is so much faster than writing it out. If for some reason you have to write it out, if I don't know why you'd want to, but if you have to, then you have that capability, which is cool. Maybe people who are more comfortable with typing things out, maybe people who are more comfortable with writing things out and it gives them a better feeling, then I think that's the only way to go for. But other than that, I think still typing is still way faster, but it's totally okay. But now we have that capability, which is really cool. So if you want to use it, Apple's going to probably sell way more Apple Pencils now too. So they're just so smart at being able to just figure out how to make more money from their products, which is awesome, I think. Now this new feature with Airpods are actually really cool as well. Airpods got a really big update. First of all, they got new spatial audio features, which is cool. Battery health windows, battery health percentages, optimized battery charging, and now this new feature, which I think is the most important one out of all three, is AirPod switching. So before, if you know, it was really annoying. If I was on my MacBook and if I had to go to my iPhone, then I had to go to my iPad or whatever. I don't really use my iPad that much anyway, but now with this new feature, I would have to manually go and connect them through the Bluetooth settings every time, which was a pain. It was just so annoying and hated that so much. But now with iOS 14, iPadOS 14, and macOS Big Sur, you can actually go and switch the AirPods automatically, so you don't have to do anything. The AirPods and the software will automatically detect whether you're on your iPhone or you're on your iPad or you're on your Mac or whatever. It'll change it up from there, so you don't have to necessarily go and constantly go into the Bluetooth settings and change it up. You don't have to do that anymore, which is a humongous highlight. So that's another huge thing right there. And I feel like that's going to be one of the most used features for me within any software that Apple has pushed out right now. Now, another small thing, the caller user interface also changed. So like I stated before, I don't know that many people who are taking calls on their iPads, maybe some FaceTimes here and there, but actually with iOS and iPadOS 14, the caller user interface doesn't take up the whole entire screen anymore. It just takes up a small little, it's like a notification badge basically, and you can swipe it out of the way, you can answer the call, dismiss the call, whatever you want to do. And that's another small thing, but I think it's a really big thing in its core. And here's the thing, I think iPadOS 14, iOS 14, Apple was really just trying to get out of people's faces. We see them do this with Siri, with the caller user interface, and a couple other things too. It just makes sense, and I feel like Apple is really trying to go in that direction of stop trying to lock down and, you know, just be in people's face all the time. And I feel like this is a really good glimpse of what they're going to be doing in the future. The fact that iPads have pretty much looked the same software-wise for a while, even with iPadOS 13, it was a small update, but at the front core of the front screen, it's been pretty much the same over and over again. So it's going to take a lot of people to go and get used to it, especially me. Even on iOS 14, I'm not used to seeing widgets and app libraries and all these different things, especially picture-in-picture on a stock native phone. I'm used to jailbreaking on all that stuff, but like on a phone like this and an iPad like this, it's going to take some time getting used to for sure. So these are some of the most important features within iPadOS 14. There's a couple different ones as well, but I figured these were the ones that a lot of people probably want to be more focused on. And like I said, there's more features and changes with iOS 14 than iPadOS 14 right now, but that doesn't mean things won't change in the future. So that's really pretty much it, guys. If you have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those things are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys to check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.